Hey, welcome back to the shop in Toronto. This is James. Just wanted to show you a device that I learned about at Canadian Cane from Dave Van Bergel, a rod builder from Maine. One of the great things about going to gatherings is that you pick up a lot of information. And I'm an old dog, and I can tell you for sure that I have learned a lot of new tricks by going to these things. So our Canadian Cane gathering we have every 2 years, and every September I head down to Roscoe, New York for the Catskill gathering, and I'm always learning stuff there. So if you haven't been to rod gatherings, find them. They're near you, they're everywhere. You're going to meet some great people and you're going to learn a lot of great stuff. So I've always filed my nodes when the culm is in the round. But Dave Van Bergel came up with this simple device. It's just a piece of wood with some casters on it. I know that Dave has in his a little riser block here, but I didn't know that when I made mine, so he has a little block there. It probably makes it easier to screw things in, if nothing else. And then I'm able to file down this node while it's in the round, and I can turn this thing. I have total control. The way I was doing it before, my right hand was cramping all the time. I'm left-handed. And, the culm is flopping all over the place. So I've got this thing cut down to 51 inches. It's going to be a 7'3" rod. Yeah, it's kind of a ratty looking culm, but it'll be a nice rod when it's finished. So I've got a couple of files here. These are, nothing out of the ordinary. One's a mill bastard. That's the medium file. And then the other one is a flat cut number 2. These are made by Simmons. Chet gave them to me from Bellinger a long time ago. They're awesome files. But, any similar file will work. Something that's, got a decent amount of cut to it. So I'm going to put the camera in the tripod, and then I'll work these nodes for you so you can have a look. But again, Dave Van Bergel, rod builder from Maine. Kathy, Scott, his wife, and he run the rod building school at the Catskill Museum. So a lot of experienced builders go through that place, and Dave was selected to run those. So here's a guy that's made some great rods and came up with this time-saving device that makes the job easier, faster, better. Now, when Dave uses it, he also has a piece of power tool that he uses to power that node off. But, I try to keep my dust down and the noise down, so I'm just going to do it by hand. But certainly the power sander that he uses, which is a little belt grinder with a flap sander, he whips these things off in a matter of seconds. But we're going to do it by hand. So here we go. Reposition the camera. I've got a little iPad here. I need to get a GoPro. Maybe Santa will get me one of those next year. So you'll notice on one side of the node, it's higher, and then this side is lower. So I'm going to take the file, and I'm just going to start working my way around, running the file in the round, and using my other hand to rotate. So what you're seeing is I'm getting a nice big band here, and I'm just starting to get to the other side. I'm going to keep going until I get rid of that little valley in the middle. I'm looking at the camera counter. I've got about 135 on here, and you can see I've almost got rid of the valley here, a little bit of valley here, so I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to stop. I've got a good cut. I can see the power fibers here. That little tiny band is just barely visible. So I've got 2 minutes into this, 2.5 minutes, and you can still feel a tiny bump, but that's going to come out when I squeeze the node. But I've gone down, I've gotten rid of that valley, and I've got a great finished joint. So what I do on mine is I'm going to knock off these other two here after I turn off the camera. Then I'm going to flame this lightly in the round. I do flame my rods, and then once it's flamed, I'll split it up. Then we'll have a look at these nodes to see if there's any imperfections individually, and then I'll heat and press them until they're flat. But basically, that's all it takes. Super fast, super easy, really nice tool. Thanks to Dave Van Burgo, who came all the way to Canadian Cane to show us, and that was much appreciated also. Just one comment in general. You're going to find some culms that have a huge dip after them. I can only tell you that those are problematic culms. They're tough to get that out. They're the ones that I tend to just tuck away until I run out of better ones, and you use them in the end. But that big dip after, shows up in the finished joint. Sometimes you're going to glue seam there, and they're tough. So just be aware. This one here is very nice, even though it's ratty looking. I'm going to get that enamel off, and it's going to make for a nice rod. So hopefully you're out in the shop. Hopefully you're building rods, having fun. Any questions, you can email me directly at canebuilder@gmail.com. Any suggestions, anything you want to see me do. I'm trying to show you stuff on the YouTube channel that isn't the basic stuff, because so many guys have done a great job already on YouTube of showing you how to split and showing you this and showing you that. So these are just some subtler insights into the hobby. Buy a couple of these little casters, an old piece of board, and you have total control. I'll just flip that around and do the other one. Now the high side's on this side. It doesn't matter where it is. And that's going to save me a lot of time. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this, and we'll talk to you soon.